All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. Thank you guys for waiting. I had to run to the kitchen and make a burger. I have had a little bit of an ADHD afternoon, and sometimes I'm just like, ah, yes, I'm gonna hyperfixate on this thing for the entire day. Oh, wait a minute, it's time to live stream. I have a scheduled activity and I haven't eaten lunch, so that was a thing. But we're good now. I went and made a burger, and it was a good burger. I'm really thankful that I learned that I can easily make them at home, because that's something that I've been trying to do more, is cook more often and not just rely on whatever random crud I have in my freezer. That is just like microwave meals and stuff. I've been trying to do more actual cooking for a little bit better nutrition, which is really hard when I have a lot of very picky tastes. It's some of the sensory stuff that goes along with neurodivergency. So I've been like making an effort, but I was super stoked because I found out that, hey, I can actually make burgers at home, and it's awesome. So yeah, I had a burger. Anyway, where did we leave off? What were we doing? Where are my kids? They're over here. Okay. We're good. I think we just have to sleep here, right? We might actually finish out today. We'll see. Yes, stream time. Hello. Not from Burger King. There is Burger King, but I actually haven't been there for a little bit. Usually when I'm gonna go out and get burgers, I go to Culver's. But no, I just found out that I can keep the patties in my freezer and fry them up from frozen. Did feed them, right? Yeah, they're good on food. Which is really, really helpful, because that's the biggest issue that I found, like, with trying to do meal prep for me, is I have a hard time when I have to prepare something in advance, because I just don't know where my mental and emotional energy is gonna be at a given time. So there's days when I'll plan a meal and then I'm like, actually, I'm super tired this day and I don't want to cook. So if I have food in the fridge that's gonna go bad, that's not ideal. So I love that I can just cook them from frozen, because it works out really, really well for me, because then I'm just like, yeah, I feel like a burger this afternoon, and they cook right up. So we have food for these guys still. We don't have to worry about running right out and get food. Yeah, it's a lot of different neurodivergencies, including some of the ones I have, tend to come with eaterness, which is kind of a it's kind of a topic. Because on the one hand, like, I definitely, considering how hard it can be for me to eat certain things, I'm not a big believer in just forcing people to eat something they really, really don't like, because that can be actual sensory hack. But at the same time, I'm like, okay, no, I need to make sure that I actually have nutrition and don't just live off of freezer meals. That's definitely the thing you have to watch out for with that kind of stuff. And so striking a balance can be interesting with that. But I've been trying to do more home-cooked meals and stuff. We probably oughta... no, actually... Well, no, we do need to... We're in this hex, and these 5 are not ours. So let's go ahead and make sure we go claim those. Where are my kids? Almost as if she doesn't have kids anymore. Oh my goodness. They were hiding in the grass. Yeah, this litter started with 3 pups, so we didn't lose half a litter or anything. Yeah, well, almost. We did lose 1 pup, but... Thankfully no more than that yet, and we're nearing the end, so I'm cautiously optimistic. Ooh, a nectarine for breakfast sounds good. I think I've talked about my my pears before, and that's probably one of my favorite fruits, considering that I keep developing allergies to other ones that I like. So pears are kind of one of my staple fruits. They're really good when they're ripe. They're just so juicy. But sometimes they're kind of hard to eat because of that. Oh, we have an elk here. Okay. The pups are both full, so we just need to worry about getting food for us today. Yeah, rip to the 1 pup who did not make it, unfortunately. It's always hard when you have a litter this size as well. It can be it's like, I mean, it's always hard, but I feel like it hits worse when you have a small litter, because you already have so few pups. You tend to be like, not that you tend to have, not that I pick favorites, but like, I don't know, I feel like with a smaller litter it's easier to connect to all of the pups more closely, and so then it hits like that much extra harder, especially because you're also not running around as much just trying to keep everybody fed. Like, there's more time to feel the impact, and it hurts, and I don't like it. With all the facts that studies have shown that eating food you enjoy eating will help your body absorb more nutrients in the majority of your diet to be stuff you like as long as it's still balanced. I did not know that, Rain. That makes a lot of sense. And, like, you know, it definitely goes both ways, and I think that's kind of the theme with, like, a lot of disability and neurodivergency stuff is, like, there's a point where you have to be mindful enough of yourself to words are hard. Like, so the example with this, there's kind of unhealthy extremes in either direction. An unhealthy extreme for me would be to say, well, I'm a picky eater, so I'm just going to live off of exclusively microwave dinners for the rest of my life. That wouldn't be good. That would have a very detrimental impact on my health. But at the same time, I think that it is reasonable to say, hey, you know, there's some things that I really, you know, it's not just that I don't like them, it's, like, physically challenging for me to eat because they gross me out so much. Like, it's a very extreme dislike. And so at the same time, like, I don't think it's just, well, you should be forced to eat anything. Like, no, there should be some leniency there, too, especially for kids, because kids experience everything more strongly, I feel like, because they've had less life experience to measure it against. So, you know, when you're telling your kid, you know, oh, you will eat this and you will like this, that's not great, in my opinion. Like, I feel like that's probably not the most helpful. Like, and it's gonna discourage trying new things in the future. So, like, that's kind of what I'm getting at here, is there's an extreme of just kind of throwing your hands up and going, well, this is the way that it is, and, like, certainly you need to know your limits and be aware of them. But there's also certain areas where I guess you can fall back on that too much, and that I don't know. It's hard to put into words what I'm trying to get at here. There's a certain level of you still have to, within your ability, you want to make sure you're taking care of yourself and doing what you can to do that, and that's going to vary from person to person depending on what exactly it is you're struggling with. But you don't ever want to sit back to a destructive degree, and you also don't want to push yourself so hard that you're gonna, like, there's a spectrum with both ends that are bad, I guess. Yeah, I would not recommend only eating Pop-Tarts and then not eating for a long period of time. That's not gonna be good for your blood sugar, but I understand why it can be easy to do something like that. And yeah, if a certain food is so gross to you that's making you nauseous, it's okay to not eat it, yeah. And that's the thing, is, like, I feel like as a society and as a culture and just as people, it's very easy for us to waffle between extremes. From the, you know, we're kind of seeing this extreme of, or we, you know, in previous generations, there's the stereotype of this really kind of tough love parenting of, you know, no, you'll eat what's set in front of you, you'll eat all of it. And there's, you know, there's merit to, there is merit to, you know, not being ungrateful. But there's a certain point when that's also detrimental. But then that's kind of now coming full circle and starting to swing the other way of, oh, only do the things that you want and never do anything that makes you uncomfortable, and you never step out of your comfort zone, and it's wrong of anybody to ask you to do that. And I'm like, that's not good either. So I don't know, this is a heck of a topic to just launch into, but there's nuance, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. There's nuance to it, and yeah. I guess the TLDR of all of it is to, you know, take care of yourself to the best of your ability. Again, you know, there's no shaming needing help with that, whatever it may be. But, you know, don't sit back to a destructive degree either and go, you know, it is what it is, and I'm not gonna do anything within my ability either. So yeah, that's kind of my 2 cents on the matter, I guess. Anyway, welcome. I guess we're kicking off with the heavier topics. I don't know, this is on my brain because I just made myself lunch, and that's kind of something that, you know, I was trying to get better at, as I realized, you know, it can be very easy for me to just be like, well, I'm just gonna sit back and have too many microwave meals or too many easy things that are maybe not the most nutritious. And I'm like, no, that's not really what I want. I want to try to be a little bit healthier in that. So I'm learning to make more things and learning to cook more, and I'm pretty happy for it, except for the fact that my stove sometimes randomly will smoke. I did it again. I was baking. I'm like, no, this shouldn't be happening. I think we got like oil splattered on it when I was cooking with my mom. So, you know, like that, I think it's still in there burning off. And I was like, no, I don't want this. I don't want smoke coming out of my oven. It's not like actually on fire or anything. It's not like anything actually dangerous. But like, yeah, not the most ideal cooking environment for me. There's so many babies around here, apparently. So let's see here. There's the scent post. I think too, like, I definitely think that there's the other big thing with this too is what works is going to look different for everyone. Sometimes people need different accommodations, sometimes a tactic that works for one person to try to be healthier is just not going to work for somebody else. So it's more, I guess what I prioritize in trying to navigate all of this is kind of getting to know yourself, understanding what works for you, understanding where you can push yourself a little bit harder to be healthier, and understanding where, okay, you know, sometimes there are areas that you kind of just learn to live with, I guess. And I guess I feel like I've kind of had to mature in that and learn to understand myself better and learn to understand, okay, this is, you know, an area that I'm going to struggle more with. This is an area where, you know, I can probably work a little harder at this. So that's kind of where I tend to fall in all this. Yeah. And it's, again, like, there's a lot of nuance to this topic that I'm probably not the most qualified person in the world to talk about this, and I mean, you know, I'm talking a little bit off the top of my head of just things that have been occurring to me lately, but there's subjects like this always have a ton to them. So, and, you know, I think when I talk about being healthy, I think it's important to understand what's healthy for you, because sometimes that is going to look different for people, but you want to make sure you're actually being healthy in whatever form that's going to take for where you're at, for what your abilities are. Again, it's that balance. And there's definitely, there can be unhealthy levels to push yourself to, and there's unhealthy levels to not push yourself to. But yeah, let's see. We gotta get some water here, I think. And probably Voodoo dispersals, apparently. It's like, what the heck? There's wolf tracks here. So let's go up here and go ahead and we'll mark this. And we'll see. There we are. It's gonna probably be kind of a quieter day today because we're mostly just marking these hexes that aren't super well claimed. This one was more, but the others really haven't been, so. But yeah, I think that's exactly right. Our goals should be how to achieve the best health we can, and that looks like different things for different people. That's hitting the nail on the head, Rain. Yeah, the media makes all this so hard because you're never gonna have the right body type and someone always has to comment on it for no reason. That's the thing about this that I do hate. Because, again, society kind of tends to waffle back and forth between unhealthy condemnation and unhealthy acceptance, I guess, is my 2 cents on the matter. And often, like, very rarely does it fall within that helpful category of, yes, this is a pretty balanced take, actually. It feels like it's something that's very easy to be polarized on, and topics like that are always challenging. Because, yeah, when you have a topic with two unbalanced extremes, it's a lot easier to tip into one of those than it is to find the middle ground. Yeah, that's one reason you play on easy. You want to do something that isn't territory management. Yeah, that is fair. It's a mechanic that works for what it is, I think. But it can get repetitive when that's a lot of what you're doing. That's why I end up talking about a lot of random stuff when we're doing the territory marking. It's because, okay, you know, what am I doing? Oh, running running through the field, running through the forest, running up a hill, running through a river. It's like, okay. probably need to comment on something other than the scenery here. But that is very fair. The territory marking is less drastic on easy mode. So, yeah. And that's, you know, a thing too, is, you know, you're gonna enjoy the different difficulty levels differently. That's why they're in the game. And I'm a big proponent of playing whichever one is the most interesting for you, because, you know, if you're gaming to have fun, why would you do something that's gonna stress you out? So I'm not big on shaming people for playing on lower difficulty levels, because if that's what you enjoy, then go for it. Nothing wrong with that. Yeah, the maps being so beautiful are a good thing for how much running around you need to do. Yeah, I run around in set view quite a lot when I'm trying to figure out where I need to be to mark, but truly, they have done a tremendous job on these maps here. They really, really have. Let's go ahead, we'll mark right here, I think. Oh goodness, favorite sweet is a good question. I mean, I think probably the easy answer for me would be ice cream. I mean, I like ice cream. But, you know, I like chocolate and stuff as well. It kind of depends. I think I like ice cream and stuff more when it's warmer as well, because it also is a way of helping cool down. Okay, you know, the affinity is actually kind of low here. Actually, the affinity has gotten quite low. All right, let's see if we can find this elk calf. How are we all? Okay, we're all doing fine on food. I want to see if we can find this elk calf, but I don't want to spend too long out here running around. Yeah, we want to keep an eye on that, because we are kind of far away from home. Favorite flavor? I always like cotton candy ice cream. Like that is just my go-to. If there's a place that has cotton candy, I will go for it. I don't eat a whole lot of actual cotton candy. I mean, sometimes I do. Like if I go to like a fair or someplace, I will. But, like, you know, I like cotton candy flavored things. Ooh, ice cream and mochi is very good. I've only had it a few times, but it is quite yummy. Yeah. Pastries can also be very, very good. Where the frick? Yes. Ooh, cookies and cream is a good flavor. I like cookies and cream, but I don't have it very often, because very often it has wheat in it. But I do appreciate the flavor. I'm excited too, because our weather is finally cooling down. It's still quite warm today, but we're finally getting out of this big heat wave that has been happening. All right, no, we need to just book it back to the rendezvous site. I immediately talked about the affinity and then spent way too long running around looking for an elk calf that we didn't even find. Still hot for you. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, the Midwest has been in the middle of a big heat wave, but up here at least it's kind of cooling down. Ooh, yeah, Culver's has really good concrete mixers. I feel like I shouldn't promo brands. I should be like, hey, sponsor me. But at the same time, I'm just like, oh yeah, you know, I like their stuff. I'll give them a shout out. But also at the same time, if Culver's wanted to sponsor me, I would not complain. I don't know. I don't know if companies like that even really do sponsorships. I never, like, I don't know. I feel like I always see, like, the same selection of companies that do sponsor people, and then there's other companies that just, like, don't do sponsorships for online content creators and stuff, and I don't know what... I wonder what leads into those decisions versus not. Like, I wonder... There's gotta be, like, a whole philosophy to advertising and where people choose to advertise, and it's interesting to see the different decisions that people make in that regard. Oh no, it's like 101. I am so sorry. That is not pleasant. Where you live, a heat wave just started. You have half days all this week at school because you don't have AC. Oh no. Hopefully they're early half days before it gets too hot at least, but I'm glad that they're not forcing you to sit through that, because that would be a pain. There's a time when corporations are gifting subs to Twitch streamers to get advertising, and you think that got shut down real quick? Yeah, that doesn't, That seems a little bit... that seems a little bit not above board. Yeah, I can see why that would be frowned upon. Ooh, you found fruit snacks. Fruit snacks are good. Oh my goodness. Yeah, well, like, there's the ones that get memed on that you just, everyone promos them, and it's just like, oh yeah, so-and-so is also, so-and-so is also sponsored by, you know, some of the big name ones that just pop up everywhere. But obviously, like, those aren't the only big name brands that exist. There are big name brands that are, you know, just known, I guess, either don't need to do a huge amount of advertising because they are just kind of, like, known names, or they advertise elsewhere. Like, I feel like I don't watch, like, traditional TV or anything anymore. So I don't even know, like, do these brands advertise on TV? Do they just do website ads? I don't know. I don't know how it all works. I know surprisingly little about advertising for being an online content creator who basically, you know, that is how I earn money, is ad revenue. That is how it works. I gotta see one more VPN advertisement in a YouTube video. I'm gonna throw a pillow. Yeah, that's an entire subject in its own right, because I've heard people disputing the effectiveness, and then I've heard other people who swear by it, so I don't heckin' know at this point. I truly don't. Goodness. Yeah, yep. Alright. There are, though, like, there's like the normal amount, or there's a very like, I don't want to say average, that's not what I'm looking for. There's a very typical way of advertising, which is kind of just throw in like a simple promo, but there's a few people, a few YouTubers who make like their advertisement segment into like an actual art form, and I kind of do appreciate that, because then it's at least funny. Some people are really, really good at making even the ad segments interesting, and like, I don't know, that seems to be a very particular sort of talent. Goodness, yeah. VPNs have their use, we've heard sketchy things about the big ones. Yeah, that's a thing too, and I don't know if it's just like a me thing or a modern internet culture thing or what, but the more I see a product being advertised, like advertise, not like word of mouth advertisement, the more that I see ads for something, the more skeptical I get of it. I'm just like, okay, you are promoting yourself, which is something that you have to do. To be fair, like, I'm not judging anyone for doing that. That's something that companies have to do to make money. But the more that I see, like, these very aggressive promo campaigns, I feel like I'm more likely to gravitate towards, like, smaller, littler known, but more word of mouth. Like, I feel like, for me, honestly, big advertising campaigns are honestly almost counterproductive, because they'll just be like, okay, you're advertising this so much, you're casting such a wide net for your user base, and that, in a way that almost makes me wonder, like, I don't know, are a lot of people just not interested? Is this not sticking for a lot of people, and why? And I feel like I'm gonna have a hard time finding anything other than sponsored positive press, rather than genuine user reviews. Oh my goodness, that frustrated me so much recently too. There are certain... Why are my pups all leaving? Please cease this. There's some retailers that I use from time to time, and hey, we're not gonna do this. We're not gonna do this. Get out. Absolutely not. You didn't even hide. Stratus, what the heck? Why? Why you gotta be this way? But I was gonna say, like, you know, so I look a lot at reviews, and certain companies have made those reviews and ratings a lot harder to even see, and I was very frustrated, because I'm like, you know, okay, I don't want to just see your star rating, I want to see how many reviews it has. 5 stars with 50 reviews is very different than 4.7 with, like, 6,000 reviews. There's a big difference in sample bias there, and it's annoying that you're not letting me perceive that as easily. So... big thing about ads, you never see things you're actually interested in, but that's because you're so diligent about your private data not being collected by corporations. That's true as well, which is good. Like, we've lost we've lost the way to privacy in the modern digital age, and for better or for worse, possibly for worse, I feel like it's gonna be hard to get that back. I certainly hope that we do. I like being able to be anonymous on the internet and not have you know, a bunch of connections to my real actual self or to my browsing habits or stuff like that. It's not, you know, it's not a matter of, you know, oh, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing. No, that's not true. That is a fallacy, because it's not about what you want. Like, it's not about what you don't want the broader public knowing, because you never know what the intentions of the people who want to know are. It's more about that than it is about what you want to keep private. That's such a logical lie, because it isn't about, you know, you shouldn't have to be you shouldn't have to be subject to the judgment of random strangers about every detail of your private life, and there's nothing wrong with not wanting that, or not wanting those things that people have learned about you to be exploited by mega corporations for targeted advertising, or to not want people to, you know, to look at you and get a certain impression from an incomplete picture that doesn't show who you actually are. Like, there's so much that's wrong with this whole, if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear if you have nothing to hide. Like, no, that's not... It makes me mad when people say that. It makes me really mad when people say that, because it's not right. It's not true. It's not, and it's... Sorry, sometimes these soapbox rants are gonna get a little bit feisty, apparently. Yeah, there were coyotes lurking in the distance there. Privacy is also part of dignity. Sometimes people who want you to give up your privacy are doing it to force you to let go of your dignity. Yeah. Well, and like, to put it bluntly, the internet has a mob problem. The internet likes to go around and dig up dirt on people, regardless of how true that dirt is of somebody's current self, regardless of whether or not it has to do with subjective beliefs. The internet likes to form mobs. And it is not a wrong thing to not want to have people who are going to come at you with the worst intentions, who are going to look for something to be angry about. It's not a wrong thing to not want to give them ammo when they're going to go out of their way to misconstrue something that may be innocuous, or maybe something that, yes, it was something genuinely you shouldn't have done, but you've learned and grown from it. There's nothing wrong with not wanting that to fall into the hands of someone malicious who doesn't know you personally, has no idea who you actually are, and is going to base their entire perception of you off of their perception of something that they perceive that you've done that they think is wrong. There's nothing wrong with not wanting that. That is a very normal, reasonable, human thing to not want to have to be subjected to. Yeah, anyway, I'm doing pretty good, Joltix. Hello. I was making burger before stream here. Oh, moose calf. Yes, I thought I smelled a moose calf. Yeah, low stakes predictions. Yeah, we might actually, well, I don't know, Soul's a little bit smaller, so we might not finish out. But anyway, that's one of my big things with the whole privacy thing, is you shouldn't have to justify why you want privacy. You don't owe anyone a justification of that, saying, you know, no, I want to be able to, like, I want to have control over what information about me is out there. Like, that's not wrong. There's a very reasonable extent to which that is not wrong. So, I'm very, very pro privacy. I think that it's important, and I think once we start to blur those lines, and once we start to say, oh no, this is, you know, oh, this is not a good thing. Like, I think that's a dangerous mentality to start to have. Yeah, people and other people want privacy. Well, like, okay, so, you know, it's not... I don't know where we got so mixed up on it, because it's not... It's a very unhealthy perspective to have, to think that everybody every moment of everyone's life should be subject to scrutiny. And I say that as a content creator who's chosen to make some parts of my life more public than most people would ever dream of. Like, you know, I do very public things on the internet for a living. And at the end of the day, like, I have a huge emphasis on privacy, because the thing is, I'm also much more aware of this than most people have to be, because the fact is, when you live any portion of your life in the public eye, you have to come to terms with the fact that there could be people who are malicious. So, you know, do I think that vast majority of people watching my channel are going to be malicious? No, I think most of y'all are great. But there exists a very real chance that somebody could seek out information about me and try to do harm with it. There are people who do that. And it's not wrong of me to say, you know, I'm going to keep my real name private. I'm going to keep my address private. I'm going to, you know, use a P.O. box when I do physical shipping and handling, so that if somebody were to come with malicious intent, they would not have access to information that could be used to harm me. That's not a wrong thing to want. It's not a wrong thing to want to keep yourself safe. Typhoon did do very good distracting the Mama Moose that hunt. We've mostly just been having a chilled soapboxy day. Doing territory hunting and stuff. Yeah, the territory's not even all that bad today. More of a you want to be alone for a long time person. Yeah, that's fair. I mean, that's very fair. And you know, we've kind of eroded this, you know, okay, so, you know, we've eroded levels of privacy relationally as well. And it's very, you know, the internet likes to throw around the term parasocial relationships, but I think that has a big connection to what is going on here. Because it used to be, you know, you'd see a lot more of a distinction of, oh, you know, this is how open I am with friends. This is how open I am with coworkers. This is how open I am with acquaintances who I meet on the street. This is how open I am with people I used to know in high school who we don't really talk all that much anymore. But, you know, yeah, they used to be people I would hang out with. Like, there used to be much more clearer distinctions of, you know, you don't have to have the same level of openness about your personal details and your I guess, truest inward self of, you know, this is, there used to be an acceptable level of not sharing everything with everyone, and that was understood and expected and okay. And I think we're starting to lose that, and that has led to this erosion of privacy, that has led to the rise of people being really parasocial and weird about celebrities, people who they don't actually know in person, have no idea what's going on with their personal life, and yet feel entitled to or feel closely connected to or expect a level of friendship from that has not been earned, is not mutual. Yeah, especially as a woman, it's important to keep yourself safe. That's the thing too, is, you know, at the end of the day, you know, I as a woman, I'm more vulnerable. That's just the truth. I'm physically not as strong. And that means that I have to take that much extra measure to protect myself against somebody who could want to do me harm. And, you know, I don't assume that most people do. I don't assume the worst of most people. But you want to be cautious before something happens. Be mindful. Not worry about, like, take concern too late, I guess. And yeah, parasocial issues are at their root an entitlement issue. It's important to understand what you are not entitled to. Exactly, and that goes back to the privacy thing too. And yeah, yeah, I like there are things that I'm much more private about. A lot of the folks that I've known online, you know, don't know my real name. Some of them do now, especially the ones who I've met in person, which is quite a significant portion of them now. But, you know, there's a lot of people who I haven't told that to, or I haven't, you know, not everybody knows exactly where I live, or all those things. Like, there's different levels of trust, especially getting to know someone on the internet, you know, that can grow at different rates depending on how quickly that relationship develops. and I just think that's wise. Like, truly, I just think it is wise to be cautious. And not to assume the worst, but to have a healthy level of knowing that there's going to be people who don't have your best interests at heart. And that's, you have to learn discernment, but you also have to be careful. It's just, you know, this should be normal. This should be a lot more normal than it is. And, you know, now I see people out on the internet who are putting real names, ages, identifying personal information just like out in their bio. And I don't think that's good. I really don't, especially if you're a minor. And I know that I have a lot of minors who watch my content, especially if you are a minor. Do not do that. You are putting out information that the general public should not have access to. Because even though the vast majority of people who are going to see that are probably fine, are probably going to have decent intentions, once it's out on the internet, you don't know who's going to see it. And you don't want to be... Like, I know it's easy to feel like things are super safe until something happens, and I don't want to scare you. And, like, I've been on the internet since early teens, preteens, and as an adult, there's some things that I've said that I wish I wouldn't have given out as much information on ages ago. It wasn't anything serious, but I still wish there's some things that I wouldn't have been quite so forthcoming about. And with different people, you don't want to have those regrets, and it's hard to realize that you're going to in the moment. It's really weird. It's really weird having been on the internet for so long and looking back, because I do remember how I felt in the moment at that time, and it's different than how I felt now, and I would never have understood that difference looking forward, but I see it so clearly looking back. Yeah, Stratus wanted to go swimming. Yeah, apparently he bumped his head on the log. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I guess what I'm trying to say here is it's okay. You do not have a social or moral obligation to reveal more of yourself than you're comfortable revealing. And to be perfectly honest, it's better to err on the side of caution. And not to, you know, blatantly distrust everyone, but just be careful. Have a healthy amount of caution. Don't assume that everyone is going to have your best interests at heart until you've gotten to know them better and you know that, yeah, okay, these people are trustworthy. And when it comes to the broader internet, where you don't know who could be seeing something, don't put out anything out there that you wouldn't want to fall into the hands of somebody who would have harmful intentions. Or who could do harm. So that's kind of just my thing, is if somebody could misuse this, you want to be careful who you share it with, and especially don't put it out on the broader internet as a whole. Anyway, yeah, there were stranger wolves here. I don't even know if I acknowledged them. They did not stick around very much. Let's mark this hex, I think. I guess, you know, well, we'll let them out to eat, because they didn't get to eat because of the stranger wolves. We're not struggling for food. I'm kind of just, like, vibing my way along here. Or really nothing too catastrophic has been going on right now. We're kind of just chilling. Oh, it was Rescue Creek. Yeah, we were really just vibing. I was in the middle of a soapbox. I just autopiloted them here. Oh my goodness. Are we gonna be able to finish out today? I don't think so. Stratus is a little bit smaller. Soul is running circles. Oh my goodness. Yeah, both of you guys are full. Alright. Let's eat this and get something new. Bring back something new here. I don't know if Typhoon is full enough on food that he probably won't want to eat right now. That's fine. We will finish this off ourselves and bring something else back. Eat the whole thing we did. But yeah, like, if there's one thing that I can encourage y'all to do, it's just, you know, be careful. Don't be paranoid, but be careful. It's just, it's better to be overly cautious than not cautious enough, because it's a lot harder to take something back once you put it out there than it is to not put it out there in the first place. Ooh, we got predictions going. Alright, let's see. I think we just mostly need to mark this one. Maybe we will finish out today. I don't know. We got like 15 minutes left. Yeah, something like 15 minutes. Alright. Oh, I hear baby music. I think I will try to feed Typhoon and then send him home, because I don't think we necessarily need him with us to fight, and the affinity is going to drain a lot faster if he does come with us. But he is hungry, so we do want to give him food. Where is this baby? Where? Where you go? Oh, right here. Right here. Nope, don't walk onto the hair. We need to attack. Here we go. Alright, are you gonna finish that up? There we go. Let him eat. Send him back. That should give us a little bit more time to actually go out and running around. I don't even know if we'll technically need that. Again, no one had predicted anything. That is fair. We are kind of just chilling. I think I would like to try to wrap up today if we can. I don't want to go too far over because I think B is streaming again. I'm not 100% sure, but I think she might be streaming again after this. So, I will not be participating in that today, though. But I did want to run too far into her stream time if she is doing that. So I think we will try to wrap up as quickly as we can, but I would like to finish the litter because I don't think we're going to get a full stream in. I think they're going to have a very short stream otherwise. And it's kind of weird to try to change, wolves on the fly like that. It doesn't usually work too well. Yeah, Reen's going to take a look. She will let you know. But we will be switching back to Ezra shortly here. After this, we'll be switching off between the two of them, so that'll be coming up. And that'll be interesting because there's some fun new things that have been added to Lost River since Ezra was last there. Yeah! It goes pretty quickly when we're not taking constant hiatuses. Like, this has been a pretty dang crazy year. I've had a lot more going on this year than I think pretty much any year on the channel. I've had a lot of trips, I've visited a lot of people, I've had a lot of people visit, or I've had several people visit me. There's just constantly things to be out and to be doing. And it's been an interesting one for sure. But, you know, that such is life. Busy's not always bad. Sometimes it's tiring, but a lot of it has been good things. Let's head down this way. Somewhere. Probably? Well, I guess we want to mark this one. I don't know why I was headed towards this. I'm distracted is what I am. I don't know, ADHD been winning today. Sometimes that's just the way that it is. I have some days where I'm a lot more scattered than others, and today I think it's because I've been pent up inside for quite a lot here, for quite a while because of the heat wave, which is another reason that I'm looking forward to not having the heat wave, because usually what I do when I am feeling restless is I'll try to go walking, or I guess now I can go biking. Some of my friends have been trying to get me back into biking. I'm not very good at it, but you know, it is a good way of getting out of the house. But I can't do that when it's hot, so all that ADHD energy has nowhere to go. I never know how much that shows up in streams either, or in videos, because there are days when I can just like feel my brain bouncing off the walls, and I never know how audible that is or isn't. Like, I feel like I've been all over the place today. Oh, we fell off a rock. I feel like I've been all over the place today, but I don't know, maybe it doesn't show up quite as blatantly, depending. I really don't know. It's hard for me to get a read on how... and like, the thing is too, sometimes I think people find it funny when I am talking fast and subject hopping. And for certain characters that works really well. Like Vixie is pretty much just entirely my ADHD energy running off the rails. And Pigeon too a little bit. So sometimes with that it's mostly just like letting the ADHD off the leash and seeing what happens. But you know, it's for the series that are not normally on that level of energy, I never know how evident it ends up being. Aw, I'm glad your rabbit's being adorable. That's always fun. Yeah, Evie was... Well, Evie's been a little bit of a menace today. Evie knows how to be cute on purpose, but today she has been being a little bit of a menace. She was very upset that I did not feed her half an hour early. I don't know why she wanted to be fed half an hour early. She's never fed half an hour early, but she was in my front room yelling about it. And it turned out she was not only in my front room, she was sitting on my counter because when I stuck my head around the door, she was right there yelling. I don't know why she did this. I truly don't. She knows she's not supposed to be on my counter. She's never been allowed on the counter, and yet, persistently, when I turned my back, there she be. She's so sneaky about it, too. Like, I will not realize what's happening. Sometimes I'll go, Evie's been quiet, I wonder what she's doing. But she's very, very sneaky about being on the counter. Usually she doesn't do too much when she's up there, but there was one time when I heard this weird clink, and I was just like, what is going on? And so I looked out, and Evie was standing by my sink, licking the dirty dishes that were waiting to go in the dishwasher. I was like, girl, what are you doing? She's never done this before in her life, and she just out of the blue was like, I lick the dishes. I was like, no, stop this. Don't start that habit. That's not a habit I want you to have. I don't want you to be licking anything I leave out on my counter. Mischievous. Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. Sometimes she decides to cause chaos. She is sleeping right now, though. She usually during the days in the summer sleeps a lot. She goes in the closet by herself because I think it's probably kind of cooler for her in there. But sometimes she's more vocal during the day. I think during the winter she'll probably be more talkative. Hey, welcome. Glad you can make it. We are looking for a moose. Are you kidding me? I came all this way and you're a bull moose? Oh my goodness. Well, that's a grave disappointment. That is truly disappointing. I was hoping we would find food here, but no, apparently not. You don't have your babies with you yet. I'm almost wondering if it switched when we were out running around, but I don't know for sure that it has or not. You are not the... No! You have a baby, but not the baby that I'm looking for. No! No! This is not what I want. Is the moose... No. Moose go this way. This is not the same moose, is it? It might be. I don't like that there's just bear here. Where did this... What? Oh, okay. It went past the bears. Oh, wait, I do smell moose calf. Okay, this is different. I wonder if somehow I got sidetracked off the scent before. Where is... Okay, no, the moose go this way. There we go. Yeah, yep. Most of the time at this season you will find the mother of the calf, but apparently not when I'm looking, not when I was trying to find one. Whoa! Wait, what? Oh, they doubled back, okay. Right down here. There we go. You are the ones I was looking for. Alright. We are not gonna have any distraction help today. Alright. Dude, moose are bad because you don't want to let them catch up to you and trip on you either, because that's a really good way to take a lot of damage. Oh, I should have kept biting. I thought she was still behind me. Okay, get out of the way. Get another bite in. Okay. She's gonna chase. And kind of throw her off a little bit there. Oh, she's right here. Ow! Oh, she was not as far away as I thought she was gonna be. Okay, she's coming from this direction this time. Alright, we're good. There we go. Where's my house? My house is over here. Like when your dog stole a piece of toast and she thought she was being sneaky, hiding it behind the table, except you could hear her loudly crunching it. Oh my goodness, dogs are so funny like that. Dogs are interesting creatures. My childhood dog, Sarah, I loved her dearly, but she was way too smart for her own good. Like, she was a German Shepherd, and she was very, very smart. But one day, and I don't know why, and like, I do remember that this happened, but I did not connect the dots. She stole a bagel, half a bagel, off my plate. And then she hid it in the couch. Like, she shoved it between the couch cushions, and she left it there for months. And we found it months later, sitting on the couch. Just, like, my brother just stuck his hand in the couch. It was like, what is this? And he pulled out this crusty, old, nasty bagel. And I was like, that was my bagel! From, like, 3 months earlier at that point. It was horrible. I don't know why she did that. Just like, Sierra, what the heck? What was wrong with you? Because she didn't even eat it. I would have been less offended if she'd at least eaten it, but she just shoved it in the couch and she left it there, and even she didn't find it again. Hoarding, I guess, hoarding it for later, but like, girl, how much later? It's been months. It's not even good anymore. It had butter on it. It was gross. It was very bad. I still, to this day, I don't know why she felt the need to do that. Oh my goodness. She also used to try to bury, like, her plush toys. Like, we sometimes we'd get her these, you know, we got her a couple of stuffed animals at various points in her life, but we kind of stopped doing it because she would try to bury them. She would hide them in the yard. So, why are you over here? What is going on? So, she was a funny creature. She was very much too smart for her own good, though. You would tell her to do something, and you could very much see, like, her mind working it over, kind of contemplating, figuring out, deciding if she really wanted to do that. She knew how to shake hands, but she didn't like it. She would, you know, you tell her to shake, and she'd just look at you. And you could just see the, oh my goodness, are you serious? This is so demeaning. I hate this in her eyes. And you'd ask her again, and she would just so grudgingly give you her paw. Like, there was just such disgust, such disdain in her face. She was a fun dog. But goodness, she was something else. I'd like to get our pack affinity up a little bit here. Yeah, grumpy toddler. Grumpy toddler of a dog is a good way of putting it. That's, you know, they say that dogs are, what is it, like about the intelligence of a 2-year-old or something like that. I believe it, because that's how they act sometimes. That's how Evie acts sometimes, too. Like, you know, it's not 1-to-1, but if you're unsure if you'd make a good parent, get a pet first and see how you do. Because there's some ways that it's like there can be some ways that having a pet is like parenting light. Like, it's not the same, but it will test your patience in some similar ways at times. Or 3. Yeah, that too. So, you know, if you're ever unsure, get a pet first and use that as your preliminary assessment. Oh my goodness. And also the main things, potty training, behavior issue resolution, etc. Yeah, exactly. Like, it is not the same as having a child. Like, I think that it's important to make a distinction between pets and kids. But, you know, if you want to, you know, if you want to understand how you're going to do with that kind of responsibility and how you're going to do with some of the difficulties, I mean, it's going to be more unique and more, you know, different with having a kid, but if you're genuinely really stressed out by just having pets, then maybe not having kids may not be easier. Cat proofing everything, goodness sakes. Yeah, my parents' cat, he is so freaking smart. Like, this cat is so dang smart. My mom got him a puzzle feeder to try and keep him occupied because he was bored, and he was causing problems because he was bored. And how close are we? Oh, we're so close. 19.2. And he figured it out immediately. Like, it had, like, these little slider doors on it that she was like, oh, he's gonna have to think of a Stratus! What the heck? Dude, no! Hey! Oh my goodness. What the heck? What the heck? Get out! No, absolutely not. That was closer than it needed to be. Stratus! He's gone right back to eating. Look at this lad. Oh my goodness. But yeah, no, they were like, oh, this will keep him occupied. It has these little slider doors. He's gonna have to figure it out. He walked right up to it and he sniffed it. And he stared at it for like 15 seconds and contemplated it. And then he took his paw and he went, whoop, and he slid it right open and he ate all the food. Like, he's too smart for his own good. That cat. He truly is. Yeah, that was a lot closer than it needed to be. Yeah, cats are tougher to prove your house for because they can jump. Evie one time got behind my refrigerator at my old apartment, and it was the actual worst. I had to shove a cardboard box down the side of my fridge for the entire time that I was at that apartment because I didn't want Evie sneaking behind my fridge. She did that because she was scared of the lawnmower, and I did not want her learning to get back there because I could not get her out. And, like, I feel like I've done a pretty decent job of cat-proofing my house. Like, my whole philosophy is that I want to be able to, like, I want to be able to control where she hides. Because if there's ever a situation where I need to get her out of the house, I don't want her hiding somewhere inaccessible. If there's ever, okay, here we go, we have baby time, okay, good. You know, if there's ever, you know, like a fire or, you know, a natural disaster or something, you know, I want to be able to know where she is and get her out of the house. So I don't want her hiding, like, under my bed is a big one, because she used to do that every time we went to go visit my parents. She'd sleep under my bed, and so in order to bring her to my parents, I'd have to go and I would have to dig her out from under the bed, and I'd have to move the entire bed, and one time I, like, sprained my arm doing that pretty much. I don't know what, something like that, or pulled a muscle or something. It hurt for several days after the fact. So I was like, okay, no, this is enough, that at the next apartment, we're not gonna do that. So when I moved out here, I was very meticulous about going through and making sure that wherever she was going to be hiding was not going to be somewhere I couldn't get her back out of. But the number of hoops that I've had to jump through to make sure that happens has been a little bit unreal. And she got under my, like, I thought she had run out the door one time because she went and she hid under my bed and I hadn't thought she could get back there, but she found a way. So it can be a challenge, and I can't remember if my mom has said she did put baby-proof locks back on things, or if she was just thinking about it, but with her cat, she has had to consider it, at the very least. Oh, you trained yours to hide under your blankets every time it rains a storm. She hides under the covers. Oh, yeah, I've tried to do that a little bit with Evie. It backfired a little bit, because sometimes I'll be woken up at some unholy hour in the morning by Evie landing on my face, because there's a storm and she's scared. It's only happened a couple of times, but it was incredibly unnerving when it did. But she also goes in her closet, and we're working on not hiding in the litter box. That was another spot she likes to go, and like, girl, why? Please don't do that. I don't want her hiding in there. That's not what that box is for. But she has an actual box with a blanket in it in the closet that thankfully she really likes, and so most of the time that's where she goes to hide. Oh my goodness. Yeah, cats are good at getting into the tightest spots, and that was very much the case with Evie in the fridge too. She had to, like, back all the way out. She came out covered in dust that I think predated my moving in. Like, I think that had been there since whoever had it last. It was so gross. I did not want her doing that again. So let's see. What are you all doing over there? Are you gonna eat? I guess maybe they're not all that hungry. Oh, I guess they're not. Okay. Well, let's go back in the grass then. Let's go back in the grass. We'll sleep a little bit. We're a little bit overtime right now. They are chasing. We're a little overtime, but I want to try to get this done because I think I didn't actually read that number. 19.3. So we're pretty close. I think a few more sleeps will do it. And I would like to wrap this litter up. We won't be looking at the pups today. I'll do a video on that. I know I'm a little behind on those, but I'll do a video on the grown pups for the air poll. But I just want to get to the end of this litter so that we can pick up with Ezra next time, because we're so close to the end that it's going to be we're gonna be breaking off in the middle. We're either gonna have a super short episode or a super long one. Okay, B started her stream, starting her stream a little bit later. So, yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Oh, goodness. What else has Evie done that's been chaotic? She's a very dignifiedly chaotic cat, and I think that is it. She causes chaos, but in her own very ladylike way, if that makes any sense. There we go. All right. And that's the end. We made it. So we'll take a look at Stratus and Soul grown up. I know Typhoon. It's okay. We'll take a look at them grown up a little bit later. But for now, I think we'll go ahead and leave this off here. So next time we will be back with Ezra. And again, if you are in the supporter Discord, well, I guess for Ezra we don't. Well, you can still help me figure out what territory config to use. I was gonna say, we don't really switch mouse with Ezra now, do we? But with Hurricane, the supporter Discord has helped me figure out what map to pick. And if you want the chance to get in on that, now is actually a very good time to do it because it is now September, so subs are, I think, 30% off, or as always, you can still sub with Prime. So if you want the chance to have access to that, that is a very good way to do that. Also help support the channel. But we'll go ahead, yeah, Typhoon is leaving. We'll go ahead and leave this off here for today because it is getting to be about that time again. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed the episode. Don't forget to like, subscribe if you're watching this on YouTube, and drop a follow at twitch.tv/jzx535 so that you can see when we are next going live. But I will see you guys next time, and until then, this is Jay, over and out.